Rhea Ripley could have a big dream match with a legend, so we'll see what's up there. We'll also check out what's new with Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns, and much more. Starting things off with a potential dream matchup for Rhea Ripley. Rhea is quickly approaching 300 days as Women's World Champion and truly making her mark in the WWE. She's pretty much both the present and the future of the WWE. Truly one of the top stars for the company. Not only is she loved by fans, but even the legends of the WWE women's division love her as well, and they all would love to work with her. Trish Stratus and Beth Phoenix have been very vocal in times about potentially working with Rhea Ripley, and now another wrestling legend is throwing her name into the hat to potentially one day stand across the ring from Rhea Ripley, and this individual is Mickie James. Mickie is not only a WWE all-time great, but she's just an overall wrestling legend and icon across multiple different promotions. She had a legendary run in the WWE, Impact Wrestling, and other companies all over the globe. Truly one of the main staples of women's wrestling. She's part of that generation that really established women's wrestling and helped to elevate it to new heights. Well, during a recent interview with Gabby AF, Mickie was asked if she'll be at the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble match. Mickie denied being a part of the upcoming match, but did answer the hypothetical question of what champion she would select to face at WrestleMania if she was the winner. Mickie James said that she'd love to face Rhea Ripley and feels like it's about time that the match takes place. So it most definitely seems like Mickie James would be down for the match, and Rhea Ripley loves facing legends. So it's safe to assume that she would want the match as well. We'll just have to wait and see if their paths will collide inside the WWE ring. There's a small but very important update to Charlotte Flair's injury situation. After WWE announced that Charlotte Flair will be out of action for 9 months, everyone figured it was a torn ACL-related injury. And now PW Insider is confirming that it's not only a torn ACL, but that Charlotte Flair suffered additional injuries to the knee on top of the destruction of the ACL. And that injury is much worse than originally anticipated. A torn ACL is already horrific enough by itself, but to hear that it's much worse than just that, and additional damage to the knee was suffered as well, is just the worst news imaginable. So everyone's hoping Charlotte Flair has a speedy recovery, overcomes all the odds, and gets back in the ring as soon as she possibly could, sometime in the back half of 2024. After the events of SummerSlam and with the Usos not really seeing eye to eye anymore, Jimmy Uso was accepted back into the Bloodline. A lot of fans wondered why Roman was so quick to accept Jimmy back in when it was Jimmy in the first place who officially kicked off the Bloodline Civil War. And everyone's best guess was that Roman accepted him back in because Roman was at a low point of losing everyone around him. So he desperately needed someone with more manpower around him, so that's why he let Jimmy back in so easily. But despite him allowing Jimmy back in and giving him more opportunities, Roman is still doing what he's doing for the majority of 2023. And that's looking at Solo Sikoa as his right-hand man, number 2 option in the Bloodline. And the December 15th edition of SmackDown featured some more interesting backstage moments between the Bloodline, like when Roman tasked Jimmy Uso with taking out Randy Orton. But since Jimmy was still feeling a bit sour about Solo being crowned as the next tribal chief, Jimmy suggested that Solo take care of Randy. But Roman, in his usual gaslighting ways, told Jimmy Uso that it is still a massive opportunity for him to get whatever he wants, and how it's still promotional season if he takes care of Randy Orton. So it was a great segment to show that despite not getting the tribal chief position, Jimmy is still under Roman's control because of those manipulation tactics. But then we got even more interesting of a segment. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman were privately speaking with each other in the Bloodline's locker room off screen, and without Jimmy and Solo in the room. Jimmy's head appears to be full of paranoia as he starts to wonder if Roman and Heyman could be setting him up with some big elaborate secret plan. Jimmy asked Solo if he could tell him if something was going on. Solo didn't immediately or directly answer the question. All Solo said was, "I'm your brother," basically implying that of course he would tell Jimmy everything since they're brothers. But at the same time, it's not really direct and could be taken in different ways. So things could get pretty scary again for Jimmy Uso. In the past, Jimmy had his twin brother Jay with him in the Bloodline, and they truly helped each other get through those hard times in the Bloodline. But now, Jimmy Uso is all by himself. Sure, he still has one of his brothers with him in the Bloodline, but it appears to be clear that Jimmy doesn't really trust Solo as much as he did trust Jay. He probably feels like Solo Sikoa is more on Roman's side with all the brainwashing and promotions. So Jimmy's on the fence when it comes to trusting Solo Sikoa, and especially now since Solo Sikoa has officially been crowned the Tribal Heir. That only means that Solo will absolutely do whatever Roman asks, because he knows that one day down the line, he'll be the next tribal chief. So Solo Sikoa's future and path is set. He just needs to stay loyal to Roman. Keep doing what he's doing, and he'll get the crown. But it's Jimmy Uso's path that's a bit uncertain right now. No kind of promotion or anything of that sort is promised to Jimmy at the moment. So he's paranoid, and feels like Roman and Heyman are setting him up. But despite everything Roman and the Bloodline have gone through over the last few years, Roman hasn't ever set anyone within the group up or brutally attacked them at all. Sami Zayn was the one who attacked Roman first and left on his own, and same thing goes for Jimmy and Jay. They made the move by attacking Roman Reigns first. History tells us that despite being the ruthless tyrant leader that he is, Roman Reigns has never forcefully set up anyone or kicked him out of the group. He'll just break them mentally until you're the one that ends up attacking or leaving him. So this paranoia angle that they're setting up with Jimmy Uso is definitely interesting. What if Jimmy Uso is right about that? Well, like we mentioned earlier, Jimmy Uso was the single individual that started the Bloodline Civil War in the first place and ruined everything for Roman and the family. Jimmy kicked Roman and left the Bloodline even before Jay had made up his mind. So has this entire act of welcoming Jimmy back into the Bloodline been fake this entire time? Has Roman been playing the long game of getting revenge on Jimmy Uso for starting the Civil War? There's no denying that Roman is still using Jimmy Uso for everything that he can get out of him. That's easily true. But will Roman actually set Jimmy up in this massive way? That's the real question. Back in the spring of 2023, when the Usos were going through a rough path of losses, Roman, Heyman, and Solo did appear to have a secretive plan that they were working on with the Usos. We never really got to see that secretive plan unfold on screen, but it was heavily implied multiple times that the plan included Solo Sikoa brutally wiping out both Jimmy and Jay. So is this still the same plan that Roman is working on? Will he have Solo really take out Jimmy if things start looking bad and embarrassing for Jimmy? It's most definitely a possibility, but it'll be intriguing to see how this paranoia continues to develop for Jimmy Uso. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.